Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission today is, well, it's simple, but it requires some brutal honesty.
I'd say so.
We are giving you a shortcut to the core framework behind the material titled Discipline, the choice between today and never.
And if you're listening, you probably know the cycle we're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. You consume some great information, you feel this surge of energy, you map out this beautiful plan, and then
And then nothing.
nothing happens.
That gap, right, between the inspiration and the implementation, that's what we're really diving into.
Mhm.
The authors argue that this isn't a failure of intelligence or potential, it's a failure of pacing.
It's that cycle of informational overload mixed with, I guess, behavioral inertia.
Exactly. You feel pumped after watching motivational content. Maybe you even comment, this is it, I'm changing my life from today.
But then the external hype, it just fades.
Yeah.
And you're back on the default path. You end the day alone, exhausted, scrolling, and that quiet nagging voice asks,
Why do I know what to do?
yet I never actually do it. We just keep watching everyone else's success stories, feeling like we're perpetually stuck in the planning stage.
And this brings us to the central, really harsh truth that this material forces you to confront. The expectation of some gentle transition period. It's a myth. The choice, they claim, is only between today or never,
Wow.
waiting for that magical day in between, that perfectly aligned future moment. That's the core mechanism of self-sabotage.
I find that rigid framing, today or never, it feels almost aggressive.
It's intense.
Yeah, it seems to deny the reality of incremental change. But I think the point the authors are trying to make is we need to stop relying on motivation.
Which is temporary.
Right, and start building discipline, which is more of a structural habit.
Precisely. They want to eliminate that psychological escape hatch of tomorrow. Our analysis suggests that most people confuse the spark motivation with the sustained energy, which is discipline.
The spark versus the fire.
Motivation is a fleeting emotion. It's often external. Discipline is the internal system you build. It's the fire that keeps burning, even when the external environment is cold.
Okay, so let's get into the diagnosis then.
Let's start there. The reason most plans fail is this relentless pursuit of perfection. We wait for the ideal moment, the perfect mood,
The alignment of the stars.
zero distractions, and of course, that never happens.
And as soon as the environment is less than ideal, like the coffee machine breaks or you get a stressful email, we just postpone.
Yep.
We use that small imperfection as a justification to scrap the whole day's effort.
And that delay is a critical failure mechanism. The authors, they state this repeatedly. Successful people are not waiting for perfect. They actively create progress out of imperfect situations. They normalize the struggle.
Oh.
For instance, the source material notes that this tendency, it often links to something called commencement bias.
Commencement bias.
Yeah, the idea that we need a major symbolic start date, a Monday, a new month to begin an effort. They argue if you wait for a formal start, you're already signaling a lack of commitment.
That makes so much sense. If you have to wait for Monday, you are essentially giving yourself permission to waste the most valuable day there is.
Which is right now, today.
Today. This leads us right to the concept of the pain equation. It's a very provocative way to frame our daily choices.
It is. It simplifies every human choice into a binary decision about pain. We are always choosing pain.
Okay.
The choice is between the temporary pain of discipline and the constant pain of regret.
The temporary pain being what? The mental struggle of forcing yourself to study when your brain is just screaming for distraction.
Exactly, or the soreness from the workout you didn't want to do.
It's uncomfortable, but it's finite. It ends.
Whereas the constant pain of regret is chronic. It's that heavy feeling of living in a cycle of starting and stopping, of seeing your potential just wither.
And then blaming everything else. Your circumstances, your lack of resources, or what a lot of people say, your lack of luck.
Right.
I do have to push back on that a little. When we talk about luck, there are genuine, insurmountable obstacles. I mean, true bad fortune. Are the authors claiming everything is just a result of quitting when the work gets boring?
That's an excellent challenge. And they do distinguish between misfortune and self-sabotage.
Okay.
Misfortune can happen to anyone, discipline or not. But they argued that the people who benefit from good luck are always the ones who stuck around long enough for the opportunity to even show up.
So luck doesn't just appear.
No. Luck in this context does not show up for people who quit when the work is boring and slow and nobody is watching or clapping.
So luck favors the prepared, yes, but more specifically, it favors the endurer.
The endurer, I like that.
The one who showed up consistently for 300 days when there was zero applause. That's the difference. When you run from that temporary discomfort, you guarantee the permanent discomfort of regret.
And this clarity on pain brings us right to accountability. It's time to accept the uncomfortable truth. Your life, exactly as it is right now, is the aggregate result of every choice you've made up until this very moment.
The material is pretty balanced here, though. It acknowledges that external pressures, a difficult family situation, a draining job, a negative environment, those things are real.
Oh, for sure. And they significantly deplete your mental resources. No one's denying that.
But those circumstances, they don't negate your ultimate power.
Which is?
The power to choose. Every morning, you hold that deciding factor. Do you prioritize inertia and short-term comfort, or do you prioritize growth?
Do you focus on input or output? That choice, repeated daily, it dictates the entire future.
This directly tackles the most common defense mechanism.
The time illusion.
The belief that I don't have time.
And the material offers some really specific kind of eye-opening examples here. They calculated the average time redirected toward non-essential, distracting activities, and the numbers are shocking.
How shocking.
For the average person who believes they are too busy, the sources say they hemorrhage between 10 to 15 hours per week.
Per week.
Just scrolling through feeds, passively consuming, or, getting into low-value drama.
15 hours a week. That's astonishing. The implication is staggering. If you had redirected even half of that, say 7 hours into focused skill development over the last year,
you wouldn't just be a little better off.
You would be operating at a completely different professional and physical level.
Yeah.
The time isn't missing, it's just being spent on distraction.
It's a critical psychological trap. And when people feel unsupported, no one believes in me, my friends laugh at my efforts, they use that loneliness as an excuse to retreat.
And this is where that insight of self-belief becomes so liberating. You don't need the entire world or even your friends to believe in you. You only need one person to believe in you consistently.
And that person has to be you.
That person is you. Your effort is the only currency that really matters.
To really solidify that, there's a visualization exercise they use, the mirror test. First, look back 1 year. If you had started seriously 365 days ago, let's say committing those 7 hours a week,
how much better would your life be today?
The answer is always exponentially. But that chapter's closed. Dwelling on it is useless.
But the real power is in looking forward. We need to project out 1 year from today. If we start now, will that future upgraded version of ourselves thank us for finally moving?
Or will they be looking back, lamenting that we just continued to prioritize short-term comfort over our own potential? That decision isn't about motivation.
No, it's about respect for your future self.
So if we accept that our current reality is a result of our choices, we need a simple, actionable recipe for building that better future.
Okay, what is it?
The core commitment offered by the source is this. Give at least 2 to 3 honest, focused hours to your growth every single day.
2 to 3 hours. I mean, that sounds like a lot of heavy lifting for someone who already feels time crunched. Where do they get that time?
The source material is very clear on this. This is not additional time you add to an already full day.
It's redirected time.
It is the redirected 10 to 15 hours of waste we just talked about, condensed into a discipline block. And these hours are non-negotiable. They're for real work. Skill acquisition, deep work, serious physical training.
So it's substituting mindless consumption with purposeful investment. But why 2 to 3 hours? Why not say 30 minutes?
Because the goal is to rise above average and fast. Average people do 30 minutes when they feel like it. The 2 to 3 hours is the threshold of serious commitment, which automatically separates you from the 95% of the population who are prioritizing distractions. This brings up what they call the effort equation.
Right. The desire for extraordinary results with ordinary effort.
We want the freedom and achievement of the top 5%.
But we want to put in the effort level of the bottom 50%.
And that equation it will never work. You have to decide who you're proving things to. If you are serious about changing your path, you have to be serious about your daily investment.
So to get extraordinary outcomes, you have to commit to extraordinary, consistent effort.
It's the only way.
The challenge then is getting that stronger, focused version of ourselves to actually wake up. How do we kill the comfort zone? It's so psychologically powerful.
The recipe for sustained growth requires daily discomfort that is non-negotiable. Every single day, you have to seek out and execute something that is a bit hard, a bit boring, a bit uncomfortable.
But something that you know is fundamentally good for your future.
Exactly. Like making that difficult phone call or running that extra mile or just starting that dense chapter in a textbook.
So we need friction, but we need the starting point to be low friction. That's kind of a paradox. How do we bridge that gap between I need to do something hard and that immediate resistance we all feel?
But focusing on the minimum viable action, or MVA, the 1% rule of consistency is key here.
I've heard of this.
Yeah, you don't need some 180-degree overnight transformation. You just need to commit to getting 1% better today than you were yesterday. And the starting line for that 1% has to be so easy, it's almost impossible to fail.
Okay, give me an example of an MVA.
If you need to write a thesis, your MVA is writing one paragraph, even if it's terrible. If you need to work out, your MVA is doing 10 push-ups no matter how busy you are.
So the goal of the MVA isn't to get massive results.
Not at first. The goal is to never miss a day. It's about building the habit loop of execution, regardless of your emotions.
Okay.
And for those who struggle with consistency over weeks and months, the material suggests simplifying the scope even more. Don't manage your whole life, just win today.
Focus only on the present battlefield. What are the 3 or 4 absolutely essential things I need to complete for my future self right now?
Right.
And then do them, regardless of the internal monologue.
And that is the core definition of discipline presented here. It's about refusing to be a slave to your fleeting emotions. The phrase, I don't feel like it,
Belongs to the old narrative.
yeah, yes. The discipline response is, I recognize that feeling, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay, but even with the perfect system and the 1% rule, fear is the final mental barrier.
Yeah.
The fear of failure, the fear of trying and not getting results.
And maybe the worst one, the fear of being judged and criticized while you're trying.
That's a huge one.
And that fear is universally human. The material doesn't suggest that successful people are fearless. They just acknowledge that winners still act while they are scared.
Fear is the passenger, not the driver.
That's a great way to put it.
We have to calculate the true cost of that fear. I mean, what hurts more? A few temporary, anonymous people making rude comments on social media because you put yourself out there.
That's just temporary noise.
Or the chronic, soul-crushing pain of looking in the mirror 5 or 10 years from now and realizing you let a chance slip away because you were paralyzed by what other people might think.
And the authors are just unrelenting on this point. No rescue is coming. No one is going to swoop in and fund your dream or force you to get out of bed every morning.
Every great story, it involves paying a price.
Always.
Sleepless nights, the sacrifice of easy weekends, inevitable failure, being consistently misunderstood by people who prioritize comfort. You have to be prepared to pay that price.
And the critical moment is what the authors call the daily vote. Every tiny action you take is a choice. It's a vote for who you are becoming.
Every scroll, every tap.
Every decision to pick up the phone late at night is a vote for the person you want to become or the person you desperately want to escape from.
So the phone isn't the enemy.
No, it's just the voting booth.
Our lack of intention is the enemy. It's that moment of choice that matters.
And for anyone listening who feels, burdened by past failures, who has started and quit 5 times already, the greatest fuel for a comeback is that very frustration.
So failures, loss, feeling underestimated, those aren't permanent setbacks.
No, they're a high-octane fuel for the comeback.
You turn that resentment into focus. The next time life feels unfair, instead of spiraling into victimhood, you just say, life might be unfair, but I'm still not giving up. I'm starting again now.
That refusal to surrender is the most powerful form of discipline there is.
And you have to change the internal story.
Critically, you have to. Stop self-labeling based on past failures. Stop saying, I'm just lazy, or I'm not cut out for this.
And start affirming.
I'm a learner, I'm a fighter, I'm a creator. The story you persistently tell yourself, it becomes the life you eventually live.
Okay, so let's bring this all home with a tangible path forward. The sources propose a 90-day challenge based on these simple ideas.
Right.
Imagine 90 days of consistent action. No useless late-night scrolling, 30 minutes of daily exercise, 90 minutes of dedicated skill work, and just writing down your goals every single morning.
If you implement that simple, sustainable system 90 days from now, the results will be undeniable. Your focus will be sharp, your energy will stabilize,
And your confidence will shift from manufactured hype
to a natural byproduct of demonstrated competence. You literally won't recognize the disciplined version of yourself.
The big question remains, though. For the person who feels totally overwhelmed by that starting line, where do we even begin?
The formula for starting is, it's ancient, but it's effective. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
The first step doesn't have to be some heroic leap.
No, it just has to be real.
So right now, for the listener, what is one tangible MVA they could do?
It could be writing down 3 non-negotiable goals for tomorrow and putting them in your calendar. It could be deleting the one app that drains the most time from your phone.
Or just standing up right now and doing 20 squats?
Exactly. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it breaks the inertia and serves your future self.
Because words without action are just noise. The true test of this deep dive, it starts precisely when our voices stop. The choice between saying, wow, that was a powerful analysis, and immediately scrolling to the next piece of content.
Or pausing right now and taking that first real uncomfortable step.
So, a final thought then.
Picture your ideal future self. The version of you that is confident, stable, proud of the life you built. That version of you is watching you right now, begging. Please, just give me a chance to exist.
The ultimate decision is now.
Are you going to continue spending your valuable days just watching other people's powerful stories, or are you finally ready to start writing your own?